A bit of moisture in the surface, and we're about to find out who wants it more. In they go, Spencer straight away. It is the Bombers skipper Coughlin who has his hands on the footy. Clayton Oliver's got him and will start up again. Spencer and Jamar. Oliver with the clearance. Got it through. White came through, but Edwards tried to rip it off him. It's fairly willing at this early stage. Edwards can't get away. A couple of good bits of tackling there from White and Grimes and Tringove around the footy. Good to see Jack back out there enjoying himself as Spencer's taken this in, or just snuck out in the nick of time. Tringove, high ball, won't travel to 15. There's a nice mark taken, but it won't be paid to Newton, who gets it away to White. Inside the 50 go Casey to the top of the square. Grimer's got to go for the Bombers. King had first and second bite, but couldn't hold it. Now the ball to be worked out at ground level. Coughlin, well tackled, spilt free chance for Casey. Ball lost forward. Newton well tackled by Ashby. And they'll toss it up deep in the forward pocket for the Scorps.
We should mention too, Marty Gleeson not playing in the VFL side, called up to the AFL side. Some late changes, which were announced yesterday, as Long goes without it for the Bombers. Trying to shoot the handball out to Tom Wallace. He can't handle it. It's over the line. We'll have it thrown in. As I mentioned, the ground in pretty good condition. We had plenty of rain overnight, some storm activity.
Looks good, doesn't it? Looks green, lush.
And it's been quite wet but windy, which will affect the conditions. Jamar getting front position there, just tapping it to ground. No one can get clear from the contest. Good tackle from Alex Neal-Bullen. The ball eventually released. There's Grimer just getting that ball out, just working it to McNeese, who's paddling in front of him. He's got two Scorpions to beat. Can't do so. Boundary line wins out. We'll have it thrown in. Half forward for Casey. No score yet. We're 2 minutes into the opening quarter on Essendon VFL Radio.
Talent just everywhere across the ground today. Should be a high-quality contest despite the conditions. Umpire throws it in. Couldn't quite get to the ruck contest in the end. Grimes lays a good tackle on Long, but there's no prior opportunity there. And we shall do it all again. Just on the arc, where the 50's painted, Jamar just takes it out of the ruck and tumbles it into the middle of the ground. A couple of players just lost it off the shin. Grimes was clean enough, got it to White, who's had a bit of it early, goes to Newton, ditto, left foot from the 50, drags it to the right hand side and one behind is the result. 2.5 gone opening turn. That's the first score of the day.
So Ferry to bring the ball back in. So here's a player coming in for Gleeson as the kick goes long outside the 50. Oh, they fly from all directions. Plenty of Bomber numbers around this footy as it heads up towards centre wing into the path of Mason Redmond. He's been a good revelation and sets his teammate running as it goes long into the 50. McKernan's got an open 50 working on Hutchings. He kicks around the body right up to the top of the goal square, trying to put Comer into a good position. He was pushed off it and the Scorps are away. Maybe a little bit fortuitous. Viv Mitchie just running out. He's got plenty of time. He fumbled a little bit but still managed to make up the ground. Trengove in trouble. Dragged down from behind. Free kick going the way of the Bombers.
And it's Redmond who's just adding things to his game every week. He comes inboard. Oh, it's turned this one over. Away they go. Slingshot from Turlick inside the 50 and the mark has been taken. And it's King who got on the end of that one. It was just not a good place in the ground to turn the footy over. So King will line up from directly in front. 40 metres to cover. It was a good chase down from Mason Redmond, but unfortunately the option wasn't the best one. And as a result, Casey will line up for the first of the day. I'm still a little bit bemused by that non-decision at the top of the goal square for the Bombers. Comer will be wondering what's gone wrong there. Oh, this kick is way to the left. Might just be a bit fluky out there. It's going to be a tricky day to shoot at goal. 2 behinds to nothing. 4 gone opening term.
I can almost guarantee that today, Leedsy. The rain will be off and on too. The showers will decrease as the day goes on. Flying high there was White for Casey. Umpire says high tackle and a free kick will go the way of the Bombers to be taken by Ambrose. Now a high kick. And this is just going to set up nicely for Spencer. He couldn't bring it to ground. Plenty of numbers around the footy. Half forward for Casey. Spencer goes back in again. That's good work. Handball over the top from Hewlett. And they work themselves into a good position. Al Musali, the 23rd player today, getting himself involved early for the Bombers. And the umpire will throw the ball up. 23rd man, Jackson Briggs, for Casey. Ball thrown up, half forward for Casey. It's been for most part of this game as Grimes kicks inside the 50 and the kick is good. It looks like Alex Neil-Bullen has the mark and he'll line up and have the shot from 45 metres out.
Going to be interesting if he and Ashby spend a bit of time together this afternoon. Of course, it's such a rotation, it's hard to really get a match-up, but looks like he's had him for the last couple of minutes, Ashby.
So Alex Neil-Bullen steps in, inside the 50. Chance at the first for the Scorpions. No problem at all. They're on the board with a goal. They're 1-2-8. Playing no score. We've played 6 minutes opening quarter. Essendon VFL Radio.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it?
It was.
Just read it magnificently.
Oh, we were right behind that kick. Just saw it, read the breeze nicely. And so, first blood to Casey. It's quite breezy out there this afternoon.
Have to imagine that Casey are kicking with the advantage of the breeze.
Yes.
So we're starting to get to that time of year where the conditions become a bit trick out. We've got to wait until half time to see who's really going well. And there's in the middle, Oliver. A little toe poke going forward. Brayshaw was there, got it back. Mitchie goes with his right boot inside the 50 for Casey. Big crash on the pack, and there's a free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Bombers. So they'll just bring it across the back pocket. Marcus taken. Michael has it deep in the back pocket. He's going to drive this ball as long and high as he can, but it's all Scorpions in the air, and the mark is taken. They can go quickly away to Garland, who runs to 50, has a rare shot at goal. This one is coming back, and it gets there. Off 3 steps. That was a very neat finish from Cole Garland, and that's their second of the afternoon. 2-2-14 Casey. Essendon yet to score. 7 gone in this opening term.
So, good start for Casey. Movement of the footy through the middle of the ground is exceptional. And just the one inside 50 for the Bombers so far. So 7 minutes into the opening quarter. The ball back in the middle. Be thrown up by the umpire today. Jamar weighed it down, then got the big fist in. Handball over the top. It's no good. It's going to be turned over. Trengove in all sorts of trouble again. Just managed to release the footy. It's at half forward for the Bombers, but here's Turlick for Casey, who kicks across the ground into a bit of space, into a one-on-one contest. The ball hitting near the line. Neil-Bullen. That's off his foot. Was it deliberate? No, said the umpire. Heppel was there as well. That's Aaron Heppel, as we'll have the ball thrown in true centre wing position here at Windy Hill, the grandstand side. Crowd building up nicely. Bomber fans checking out the VFL team before making their way to the MCG. So the AFL guys run around, ball fisted back to the line, we'll do it again. It's these double-header games, a wonderful initiative from the AFL clubs and the Peter Jackson VFL. Expect an exodus out at half-time, but we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Coughlin shot a handball out to Comma, who kicks across the ground. There's a good ball into the path of Ambrose. He's got to track it across the ground, though. Newton there, gets around him. Handball across. Willis, who kicks inside or towards the 50. The kick was too short. Billy Stretch took the mark and Casey away.
Quickly, they tried to play on a little too quick for their own good. Coughlin gets on the end of it, goes inside the 50, and Redmond takes the mark. Oh, he gives the handball over the top. Unselfish, McKernan from point-blank range. And the Bombers have their first of the afternoon. They're 1 straight 6. Casey 2-2-14. 9 gone opening term.
Bit of free-flowing play. It's off a Casey error. A turnover at centre-half forward. It's Jack Trengove, who's really, they're just targeting at the moment.
Yeah, it was... I mean, they needed to take it on because they were under pressure from everywhere. It was probably more tribute to Essendon's pressure in the forward half of the ground than any mistake made by Casey, and that's a good sign.
So 9.5 minutes gone. 14 plays 6. Casey leading. As this ball into the path of Willis again, but he's turned it over. Casey head towards the 50, but another turnover, and Sammy Michael takes the mark. He's at half back for the Bombers. Kicks up the line. Working hard there was Thompson. Kind of fisted away from him, and we'll have it thrown in.
Good contest, that one, Pete, between Garland and Thompson.
The ball tossed back in. It was Jamar with front position. It was Willis who lost a handle on it again. Falls to Brayshaw into this Casey lineup. He kicks inside the 50. It's off hands and over the boundary line. Tim Smith couldn't get a handle on it and will have it thrown in.
So Bombers forced to do some defending again. 10 gone in this opening term. I reckon they'd be pretty happy to just be trailing by the 8 points. Forced to defend again here, going towards the line. Coghlan sort of half wanted the line, and that's where it finishes. Neil Bullen ended up taking it out. So we'll get the chance to do it all again. Plenty of players around the stoppies, as you could imagine. McKernan's the last one at the back of the chain for Essendon on the wing. And the ball's a long way from there. In the forward pocket for Casey. Just be careful that there's an attempt made by Merritt. He did. Enough just to allow the umpire to give him the benefit of the doubt. Another stoppage. No real clearance first double. Good stuff, El Masali, but then he just went to ground and he was wrapped up. And we'll have another go. My final attempt to get this footy out.
Just come on, get something happening here.
Tossed up. Kilty against Michael. Give that one to Michael. Down to Willis. Just lost a handle on it. Long. Got his hands and then just released Merritt, who got it to Ashby under pressure. Good stuff in the end from Coghlan. Although he just couldn't quite get it to Ferry. Out the back. Grimers amongst it. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Tracking the ball at ground level. And there's a free kick here. And it's going to go the way of Ambrose, who kept his eye on it. Yeah, kept his body behind it.
And caught one high. Oliver standing the mark as Ambrose in the back pocket. He kicks long outside the 50. They fly. McKernan got hands to it. Just lost a handle on it. Working there, Mitch Whites for Casey. Players coming in from all directions. No one can get clean possession here. Munro is there for Casey. The quick kick out inside the 50. Falls to the back. Smith works with his teammate and Hewlett, who goes around the body to the top of the goal square. It's a dangerous one-on-one contest, and there's a bit of holding going on, and Grimer will take the free kick. A bit of holding going on with Max King.
So Grimer, who had Travis Cloak last week, gets this free kick, goes down the line. Garland's taken a nice mark, and he's going to go back and try and set up Casey. He plays on quickly. Oh, now he's run into a bit of trouble, so he's forced a handball to Munro. Looping handball over the top, missed the target. They're looking slightly lined up here. Mitchie's on the end of it. He goes with a long right foot that's going to miss. Got the distance from outside 50 convincingly, but away to the right-hand side. And Casey get their third behind of the afternoon. They're 2-3-15. Essendon 1 straight 6.
Kick in short. Heppel takes the mark. Goes short as well. Heavy side. Still haven't exited the 50, the Bombers. They hug the grandstand side of the ground here at Windy Hill. First of a couple of games at home for the Bombers the next couple of weeks. Good work from Thompson over the back, but Garland's there again. Picks up for Casey. Works it to Oliver. Through hands. Stretches there. Back to Munro, who kicks across the ground. This is a nice build-up. And the captain, Jack Hutchins, takes the mark. His short kick is no good. In comes Heppel for the Bombers. Now, can they get something moving? They've got to wait for their teammates to get down the ground, and it's turned over in the meantime. Ball too slick for Brayshaw. Working there, Neil Bullen has his kick smothered. It falls back again. Mishi kicks across the ground, and the mark's been taken. In fact, it was Billy Stretch who kicked it.
There's been a falcon here, and it's done some real damage. Player hasn't moved. I'll get you a name.
Hewlett has taken the mark in the meantime, leads in. He'll line up and have the shot about 35 metres out. Can you see who the player is?
It's Brayshaw. He's okay. He's just lifted his head. He's being attended to. I fancy it was just a wet, heavy ball that got him right in the scone.
Never good, even with a dry ball. Meanwhile, Hewlett comes in. The kick on the way. Has it held its shape? It has. Hewlett gets his first. And the Scorps, they've got their third on the board there. 3 goals, 3-21, playing 1 straight 6, 14 and a half gone in the opening quarter on Essendon VFL Radio. But all eyes at the moment leads here on Angus Brayshaw.
Yeah, it all happened so quickly. He wasn't far, and there was a rush kick, and it just smacked him in the scone. So he's up and walking, albeit grimacing. And we know that he's a tough customer, so hopefully he's okay. not the ideal circumstances. He would have just been chomping at the bit to prove himself after being given a game in the VFL. And now, we'll just have to wait and see what the doctors say, but it would be sad if his day is over at the 15-minute mark of the opening quarter. Play is just going to be halted here while Brayshaw comes from the ground. There's a lot of care being taken. He's walking, and he is going to go straight to the bench. So
he's not. Doesn't appear to be any blood or anything. So didn't get him square in the nose or anything like that. But it was just more the fact that it got him, and I don't think he was quite expecting it.
No, he's just touching his left ear, that part of his head. So they're going to get back underway here as Brayshaw comes off the ground, and Jamar has first hands on it. Edwards tracks the ball, got through a couple of tacklers. That was well played outside of the right boot, goes to half forward, and now the race is on. It's going to be Casey who are first there. Redmond, good tackle though. Grimes comes in to lend a hand. That was a good chase from Redmond, forced a 50-50 ball.
Leeds, he's going straight to the rooms too, looks like, down here in front of us.
Yeah.
He's going to go straight up and through. So they'll do testing and all sorts of different things. But from the looks of things there, we don't want to speculate too much. His day might be done.
So at the back, here come Casey again. Cross half back. Get it to as far as the wing, but Ambrose got in the way there. Took a nice win in the contested situation, but then he coughed it up. Garland got it away quickly. Turlick's on the end of it. He gets it to Munro. They keep on running here. Newton on the end of it. Left foot missed to the left-hand side. Again, the distance easy, not the accuracy. 3-4-22 Casey, 1 straight 6 Essendon, 17 gone opening term.
Well, they're peppering the goals, aren't they, at the moment, the Scorpions?
It's his second behind of the day.
So just repeating, Angus Brayshaw taken from the ground for a Falcon as Ashby goes long outside the 50. Big fly at the back, mark not taken. Spencer is there. Shot the handball out, but only as far as McNeese, who goes around the body, heading towards the boundary line. And Patterson can't keep it in for Casey. We'll have it thrown in.
It's an intriguing contest, isn't it?
It is.
Essendon will be happy to be as close as they are at this stage.
7.5 minutes gone in this opening term. Spencer, Jamar. There are some memories of playing with some of these guys in the Casey lineup as the umpire comes in again. We'll throw it up. Trying to just lock things down here, the Bombers. Spencer again. They both actually missed it, the ruckman. Again, the pack forms.
Jamar seems to be trying to take it out of the ruck a fair bit here, Pete. Just already 3 or 4 times he's attempted to grab it.
Well, Spencer came through with the tap this time. El Musali, his handball was partially smothered, working through their stretch with a couple of handy possessions. Kick inside 50 for the Scorps. Let's pick up who their player is on that outer side. Who's got it? Who'll have a shot from the boundary line, but with the breeze should be able to make the distance, you would think. So 18.5 minutes gone. Another shot at goal coming up for the Scorpions. Right on the 50. The kick is narrow. One behind the end result. And another behind to their total, but they're just peppering the goals at the moment, the Scorpions. Putting the pressure on the Bombers. So that behind to Liam Hewlett. The Bombers bring the ball back into play.
They go to the outer side of the ground. There's not going to be a mark taken. Ashby tried to take it away, but he was under a bit of pressure and he sees it over the line. So 55 around from Casey's point post on the lawn bowl side of the ground. What can they make of this? Jamar got it down, only as far as Tringo. Handball just missed the target. Heavy sides at the bottom here. The ball comes out from that initial contest. Umpire allows it to go on stretch. Got it out the back. Tringove quickly on, and Casey are going to work their way to half forward nicely. Oliver inboard. Looping handball over the top. Asked a bit of Neil Bullen. He just overran the footy. Grimes was there to try and mop up. Coming through was Willis. Cleared a path for Eads. He got on the end of it and handball to Redmond and then got it back. Oh no, there was Garland in the way. It would have been a nice chain, but for that pesky Casey player, Bull at half back. Here's Long trying to work his way through traffic. Good tackling. Umpire is going to ping him. And it'll be a Casey ball at half forward.
Yeah, it's just so quick these days to pull the trigger. If you drag that ball in, you're in all sorts of strife. So chance now for the Scorpions as they go deep to the goal square. Tim Smith's got 2 to beat. It falls all the way to the back and through for a behind. So the scoreboard operator on that outer side of the ground has got a lot of work to do. 3-6-24 plays 1 straight 6. 20 gone in this opening term. We are into time on. The kick out is good. Paddy Ambrose takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50 for Essendon. And now the kick going long. Up towards centre wing. McKernan there. He's going to claim the mark. He did really well. He's got Edwards running alongside. That's where the handball goes. Edwards kick long and high. This one 2-on-1 in favour of the Bombers. It was Langford who picked it up. He's been forced to wheel around. And his kick almost there for Eads. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Patterson picks up for the Scorpions. He kicks across the ground. Dangerously here, it's a 2-on-1. Leading in the race is Hewlett. He goes around the body. That kick is excellent. He found Jack Trengove at half back.
Who wants to go through the middle again. Nice kick to Oliver, who stops and goes, and then he's called to play on, so he handballs out the back to Mitchie, who goes further afield to half forward. A nice mark taken by Neil Bullen. Heppel was closing quickly, but he took it on the chest. He's going to handball further afield to Garland, who wants to just go long, but he can't. Heavy side's there to try and lay a tackle. Gets around him inside the 50. Up goes Kilty. It's knocked away. Michael, the big fella, was cast in the roving role, and he was happy to see it over, and they'll toss it in.
No sign of Angus Brayshaw reappearing anytime soon, looks like. So they're down 1 rotation here, the Scorps.
Deep in the back pocket, here's J-Mark grabbing it out of the ruck again. He gets it 25 metres, but it's chopped off. There's a little snap on goal that won't work out. It just sneaks in, and it's McDonald Oscar who misses to the right-hand side. So 3-7 now, 25 Casey, and just starting to miss a few. Essendon 1 straight 6.
Yeah, they've had their chances in this opening quarter. It's a long kick out, a very, very long kick out. And a very nice mark. Jamar out there who's taken it. Just put the jukes up. Good job as he kicks up the line. Langford, Thompson was there, but it falls to Edwards. Gets the ball back to Wallace, who's turned the footy over. Oliver comes in to take the mark. Half back for Casey on that outer side. 22 and a half minutes gone. Called to play on now by the umpire. He kicks long, up the line. Dangerous again. Jamar, did he get the better of that? He's going to claim the mark. Oh,
that was a little cheeky.
Oh, come on, Russian.
It's going
to go the other way. He was very quick to claim it. I don't think it was his, and the umpire saw it that way too.
Oh, and
50 metres. Maybe just arguing the case, maybe a little bit too much.
Well,
I'd like to see the replay of that.
Yep, and the umpires are being watched here today. Saw Tim Shear in the crowd earlier. He's got an eye on the future of umpiring around the country, and no doubt that they'll all be being watched as much as the players are. And this one is going to be now from 10 metres out. Shouldn't be an issue, and there isn't. Casey get their 4th of the afternoon. They're 4-7-31. Essendon 1 straight 6, 24 gone opening term. King with his first of the day.
Well, I tell you, he couldn't claim something that wasn't his.
Well,
but credit to him. They both seemed to grab it at a similar time, and then J-Mo just sort of grabbed it out of their hands and then tried to claim it.
Yeah, it might have been a ball up in the end, but you've got to pay the first hands, I guess, and in the end, it doesn't matter what the decision was. The 50 metres has been the thing that cost them a goal.
So back in the middle, Grimes getting his head over the footy for Casey. No one can get clear. Coughlin at the bottom of the pack. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Everyone picking themselves up. Jamar again doing the bulk of the ruck work for Essendon's VFL side. A few rotations through there, and that's a beautiful transfer of the footy from the Scorpions. They got it from the middle of the ground into a scoring position with one kick. And it's that man, Max King, again, who's got it. He will line up and have a shot from just inside the 50. Plenty of goal face to look at, but quite breezy.
Yeah, the right-hand goalpost has been the aiming point so far. That's brought it back successfully.
So, 25 minutes gone. In comes Max King. And he's just pushed it out to the right. Hasn't quite got the distance, so it's off hands and through for a behind. 4-8-32, playing one straight 6. We've gone 25 minutes in the opening quarter here on Essendon VFL Radio. Round 4 in the Peter Jackson VFL.
And the Bombers hold on here. A long ball from McNeese as hard and high as he could, and that's a nice strong mark from Jamar in front. Oh no, it's not Jamar. In fact, it's Heaviside. Wow. That's just twice as good from the young man who just stood tall. And he goes back across the ground to McNeese, who has it his defensive goal square. Oh, dodgy kick. Wasn't paid the 15 to Ambrose. Edwards gets a handball, goes back to McNeese. They're under the pump now, need to find a mark. In the back pocket, they can't. Coming in to pick up the loose ball for Casey is the skipper, and he's being pinged for holding the ball. Hutchins just tried to do a little too much there, and thankfully Heaviside was strong enough to bring him to ground. So having taken a strong mark, he's now laying the tackles at ground level. He goes with the drop punt outside the 50 only just. Redmond almost had a chance. Ball at ground level for just a moment. Casey trying to work their way through trouble. Coughlin gets on the end of it, but it's stolen. Patterson to White, away to Garland, inside the 50. Long ball, sitting underneath it is Michael. Read it best, strong hands, and he relieves for the Bombers.
He does, yeah, taking the mark or working the contest with King there. He did really well. Kick up the line here for the Bombers. He's okay. Long works it, short to Eads. He's been a revelation for this side this season, Yeston Eads. Really good player. Has been called by Long to put it up towards the 50. That's exactly what he does. And coming in, Jamar to take the mark. And he wanted to play on quickly. It ends up with Heppel, who off a step, kicks it high and long, deep inside the 50. And they get the mark. That's brilliant transferal of the footy. And it looks like Jackson Merritt has it. He does. And he'll line up and have the shot 25 metres out, pretty much directly in front.
Makes a difference when the big men can get their hands on it, doesn't it? And Jamar doing just that to set them up.
So in he comes. Jackson Merritt steps in, kick on the way, goal. Second on the board for the Bombers. They move to 2 straight 12, playing 4-8-32, 27 and a half gone in the opening quarter on Essendon VFL Radio.
One thing they have been is efficient going inside the 50, really. If the free kick was paid at the top of the score, they'd just about be 3 from 3, I think. So that'll be pleasing the coaching staff. Unfortunately, they just haven't gone in enough in this opening term. Just a few vocal cords being warmed up for this afternoon as McKernan's gone into the ruck here. He wins it out of the middle and then kicks, but only got it 2 metres before it finds another contest. It's wrestled out. Edwards is going to have a chance. He did well not to infringe initially. Did he slip high? No. Umpire said, give it to me, gents. I'll take it from here. Yes. It's tossed up. Spencer. Newton. Touched off the boot. There'll be no mark. It didn't hit anyone on the full. Free kick, surely. No. Umpire allowed to go on. It's Casey have the footy at the top of the 50. Couldn't take it cleanly. Working their way out of trouble now. The Bombers. Edwards was tackled by 3 Casey players. Somehow got it going. Newton couldn't quite hold on to it. Spencer, he's well tackled. Back to Newton out the back. And Casey are lining up now as it comes to Turlick. He goes inside the 50. Grimer has the sit. He's going to track this towards the line. Happy to see it over. No, he pushed his man off and then kept it in magnificently. Down the line he goes. Gains 45 metres. This would be nice to tumble over. And it does, Bomber fans. And they'll toss it in. And Essendon escape again. Half-back flank, 29 gone, 32 to 12.
He's looking for Langford. As the ball tossed back in. No one can break clear. The umpire straight in and on that. So we're ticking down towards quarter time. This round 4 clash on Essendon VFL Radio. Spencer just slapping it away. Coughlin forced to lay the tackle. Through hands, nicely done. Mitchie done some nice things in this quarter. got a 360 in the middle of the ground. No one can break clear. It's hard and tough stuff. Just shot the handball out, but to no one in particular. He wasn't really looking. Tringo swoops in. Handball sent his teammate a real task. Now it spills free. Edwards is there. Just a little kick to try and relieve some of the pressure, but it's only going to be temporary because Turlick runs onto it. On 50, his kick. Too far for the initial pack. Falls to the back. King is there working with Grimer. Good shepherding work from Grimer. They work the handballs nicely. Jackson Merritt is there. He kicks up the line, and the Bombers out of trouble temporarily.
Almost turned it over. Now the tackling needs to be good because Casey are closing at half-back for the Bombers. Free kick, and it's going to go Essendon's way. Great determination on that outer wing. It's El Musali, who had his handball smothered, but then just wouldn't have anything of losing the ball. So he kicks down the line. Unfortunately, it's been chopped off. Spencer takes the mark and goes quickly to Grimes. Casey inside the 50 again late in the first quarter. Oh, Michael, wonderful mark. Fully stretched, just in the fingertips and just in the nick of time.
So Sammy goes on with it now. He kicks up the line towards centre wing. And he's turned the footy. I think that was the siren.
It's definitely quarter time.